like I'm meant to strike. Flat earth beneath my feet, knowing I'm here to meet. Ocean's edge, it calls my name. Purpose in this life's game. Horizons line so clear, God's love brings me near. Flat earth made by him, my journey long yet thin. Purpose found in every day, guided by his gentle sway. Mountains tallly standing.
Yo, Flows, what's up? Good to see you. Glad you could make it. Woo! We are joined by Jeff, Flat Knucklehead, and PJ in the house. How you guys doing?
Oh, groovy, sir. Oh,
Good.
groovy. Your sound's
Good.
sounding good. You've got the cables now, haven't you? All sorted.
Yes, the noodle has arrived, so I really want to appreciate it and say thank you, PJ, for the money for the cable.
That's
I got a high
perfect.
quality cable, so it should work perfect.
Yeah,
So
from
thank you
high
very much.
quality Vicky's idea.
Yeah, I'd rather pay high quality, a bit extra, get better quality than
Definitely.
after a few months have to get another one. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Hey
Definitely.
Ryan, what's up? We're still waiting for Gibbon to show up. So
Yeah, there isn't. Yeah, of course, because it's a debate, Roger. That's why there's no link.
yeah, the link's in the element,
You
man.
go to Element, links in Element, bro.
I don't want to stick it up here for everyone. Otherwise, we're just going to get a whole bunch of people trying to get in.
Go to my room in Element. It's there if you want, Roger. It's in another few rooms as well. My one.
It's live mindset. Good to see you. Because you'll probably do a after show if it doesn't go on too long.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah. So if you guys missed it, do go watch the premiere I just had on as well. With Will Duffy and his unedited, so-called unedited 24-hour sun video.
I know, yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
And
all
by the way, there was only one inconsistency. There was more that I saw that I just decided I'm not going to stick it in.
Mm, mm.
Even where the light reaches behind the light bulb, it doesn't light up.
Ah,
And
wow.
I show that frame by frame. I showed more. Well, I didn't show it in the video, but I looked through quite a lot. Where did I stick it in? Open. I think. Even the sun size changes. Let me quickly share the show. Share the screen. Guys, please hit the likes. Share the show. Let everybody know we are live. Check it out.
Oh, I.
Yeah, I've got it. So it even goes there, and you can see as it's going, it's wrapping around. See, it goes there. It doesn't even light. 27 seconds. The sun is directly behind the light bulb.
Ah,
And it's exactly the same. Check there. There's no light difference.
no. You're right. Mm.
And then just to make sure, I put it again, and I just changed the hue saturations. And to show you, see, this 27 seconds, that's where the sun is directly behind the light bulb.
Gotcha.
Why is it not lighting up?
Mm.
Mindset said instead of the final experiment, wouldn't it be proven but just by circumnavigating heading south?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Circumnavigation just north to south, which they've claimed to have done many times. But as soon as you see their route, when they get to the south, they take a hard left,
Hard left or hard right.
which follows the flat Earth model, by the way.
Mm-hmm. To a T.
Don't see it.
Roger, I'll send it to you in Messenger then. Go to are you a member of my channel? It's in my channel, YouTube. No PJ's YouTube and Rumble links. If you go, you're in there, aren't you? Let me just see. If I go Roger, R-O-G. Don't tell me you're not in my room, Roger. It doesn't look like that. Are you called Roger in Element? Right, I'll send it to you in Messenger, dude. Wow, dude.
Okay, I've emailed Gibbon again. We'll see when he gets up. What's up, Brian? Stable in the house. Haven't seen you in a long time, man.
Oh,
You're doing well.
nice, right?
Yeah, we're still waiting for Gibbon to show up. Otherwise, if he doesn't show up, we'll just do Danny Faulkner
Mm-mm. Hey,
because I was actually going to do that video tonight if we weren't going to debate them. So we'll give the guy another 10 minutes. If he doesn't show up, we'll do Danny Faulkner. Guys, how's that sound?
cool. Sounds good to me.
We can't wait forever for someone.
Nah, of course. Right, let me see if Messenger's open so I can send. Oh, come on.
Shot. Yeah, I was watching the reviews on Ballbusters of the debate between myself and Duffy.
Aye.
And QE was getting so triggered with Duffy's idiocy. I was laughing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, one thing that's what I asked Duffy though when we were debating was, why is it that you know the sun thing is a false dichotomy, yet you want to push it, but you don't want to then send someone to go look for this dome you claim doesn't exist? Don't you think it would be much more adventurous to say, go search for a dome and see if you can actually show Antarctica to be an actual continent? Have you realized no one has actually shown Antarctica to be a continent?
No, they haven't.
That's quite weird.
Why does it let me sign in a Messenger?
Danny Faulkner won't debate me. He's too scared.
Oh, it's down. It's down. Facebook's down. That's why I'm thinking it's the wrong email address I'm putting in, but it's not. It's because it's down at the minute for me. Okay.
Yeah, Danny
Let
Faulkner
me
won't.
invite you to my room. Is your name Roger in here?
No, it's Ben.
Roger, I can send it to you on Discord. How's that?
No,
I'll just send it
Yes,
to you on Discord.
Discord. Discord's a good idea. Send it to you on Discord. But I'm going to see if I can invite you to this room.
Roger. There we go. I sent it to you in Discord, man.
Invite you to this room.
Hey guys, please hit the likes, share the show.
Yeah, right. Brian just said, yeah, Facebook is down. So, yeah, I don't use it that much. So I was thinking when the writing came up in red, it was me putting in the wrong email password and that, but no.
But yeah, think about it. If they can go and say, okay, let's Awesome, what's up, man? Yeah, QNV makes a video about me every day. I run around the guy's head. Hey, Gibbon's in the house. Okay, awesome.
Hello.
Hey, Gibbon, what's up?
What's up?
Good, and yourself?
Yeah, you're kind
Good.
of mean to me in the YouTube comment section, but in the email thread you're much nicer.
Comment section?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, everybody else is probably just going to keep quiet and let us have our conversation.
Absolutely.
We weren't sure if you're going to show up or not.
Yeah.
Do you have a specific way of topic you want to talk about?
Just the shape of the Earth.
Awesome. Okay. So yeah, guys,
Go on mute.
as usual, you guys go on mute, and
drop
then
out.
Shot, thanks for coming, guys. And then we'll have an after show, and you guys can give all your commentary and then all that. Well, guys, thanks for coming. Please hit the likes, share the show. Appreciate you. Thank you, Gibbon, for coming. I appreciate you coming.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
yeah, you can get this party started.
All right. So am I first, or how's this work?
You can do what you want. It's open, so you can just
Okay.
do what you want. You can.
So I'm gonna assume everybody else that's on the stage here is not a globe earther.
No.
Okay. Well, I think one of the easiest ways to prove that the Earth is a sphere is day and night and seasons. It's explained perfectly in a globe model, but I haven't seen flat earthers explain it on a flat disk. So I would just like to ask you to. I assume you're a flat earther, right? I mean, Flatzoid.
I would hope so.
Yeah. So, what is your explanation for day and night and seasons on a flat disk?
Well, the explanation is the sun is closer in the summertime and further away in the wintertime, and it just takes a circuit around the flat Earth. That's
I
practically
s-
it.
So it's like a circular path that it follows, but it moves in further in and out throughout the year.
Yeah. So,
Right.
like it's summer with me at the moment, it's closer down to me, and then it circles almost like an ellipsoid where it goes up in the north and down in the south. And then when it, almost like your wobble would be on your globe Earth, but just where it's flat, it's not following a wobble of the globe.
Okay. Well, my counter argument to that is okay. You would imagine that when it's closer to the, I assume you believe in the ice wall, right? Or that the Antarctica is just an ice wall surrounding
Antarctica,
the
yeah.
edge. Yeah. So when it's closer to there, it's going to have to traverse a much longer path because it's at a further distance away from the center of the Earth. And yet the sun travels at the same rate through the sky throughout the entire year.
Yeah, look, the thing is, the difference is with us, we don't make a claim where the sun actually is or what it is. I don't believe there is a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, though. I do think there is sunlight in Antarctica. That's why I put the difference between sunlight and and daylight. And I personally can attribute it to just reflections off the dome.
Um, so when this like, I mean, I know you have called this like, uh, what was it called, the final experiment or something like that. I know you've called it not an experiment, and I don't know if the guy who named it that literally meant it in like a scientific sense. But like, what do you like? What will your reaction be when they go down there and finds that there is a 24-hour sun in Antarctica?
I don't know if you actually watched my debate with Will Duffy
I
on
watched the first 30 minutes, but I got the general gist of what
yeah, yeah.
was kind
So
of going down.
yeah, so it's the same thing. Yeah, no, he actually is calling it experiment because he does think it's scientific. He actually does think this, and then yeah, it's just a false dichotomy. It's not going to change anything, and it's the same thing I was trying to explain to him that I don't believe there's a 24-hour sun, but even if there is shown a 24-hour sun, it won't disprove anything. The only thing it can disprove is the globe model because the globe model dictates that the sun has to be there 24 hours. But on a flat, it doesn't dictate anything. So it can be there or it can't be there. It's not going to change reality of a flat Earth.
Well, my thing is that, okay, since you claim that Antarctica is just an ice wall around the edge of the Earth, how could it be that it's illuminated for 24-hour days, for 24 hours a day, at several, for several months throughout the year, and yet the rest of the globe is experiencing relatively normal amounts of daylight, like they get day and night still? How could it be that the entire ice wall is illuminated with sunlight, and yet it's somehow magically just not illuminating any of the inner areas of the Earth?
Remember when I said in the summertime? Remember, I'm in the south. So in the
Right.
summertime, the sun is what we would say closer to us. So that's why it's able to light the south up constantly with daylight. With daylight because the sun is closer, and if you understand, when it comes to colors and light, white actually reflects light very well, and because Antarctica
Right.
is practically just snow and ice, it reflects the light really well, and that's why it's lit up.
So you're saying the light, let's say the sun is on one side of the Earth or something like that, on a flat disk. So it's illuminating some of the snow and ice in Antarctica on this one side, and it's somehow being reflected all the way around the rim of the Earth and
Yeah,
not into the center of the Earth.
because of internal reflection.
So it's like a slope. It's like
No, if
slopes
you
inwards to the center of the
have you
Earth.
have you ever, for instance, taken a wine glass before and just stuck a light on the edge of it, and you see the light travel right through the wine glass brim. It lights up the whole brim of the wine glass. Have you ever
Right.
tried that before?
No, but I know that a wine glass does have some like weird reflection things. Yeah, but
So that's the idea.
yeah, but I imagine the light is still going to be passing through the center of the wine glass, the space in the middle of the wine glass. So it's not really. It would like if that was what was happening, we would get light in the center of the earth at all times, right?
Yeah, but see, this is why I say the difference is between daylight and sunlight. Do you know the difference between the two?
I'm not sure there is a difference.
No, there's definitely a difference.
What is it?
Daylight is not direct light shown with the sun in view. Let's, for instance, take you're in your house and the sun is set, and you still see the sunlight going in through your window.
Right.
That's just normal daylight. Sunlight is direct light from the sun.
So daylight would just be light that's like somehow reached you because of refraction and reflection, stuff like that.
Reflections, yeah.
I don't think the medium by which it reaches you changes what it is. It's still daylight. It's still reaching you. If somebody shines a flashlight on a mirror, let's say this is a kind of a dumb example, but let's say there's a room with a curved floor or something like that, a sloped floor, and somebody's standing on one side of the slope and someone's standing on the other side, and there's a mirror at the center of the room on the top. Somebody shines a flashlight at that mirror and the light reaches you. Is that light suddenly not from the flashlight? Is it a different form of light? No, it just took a specific path that gets you. So I'm not really sure why there's a distinction being made here. There really is no difference.
There is a difference because you guys are claiming that in Antarctica you're going to see the actual sun for 24 hours. So you're not going to see the actual sun, but you'll see it still lit up. No one's fighting that there is not a 24-hour midnight light in Antarctica. It's just not the sun as itself. You won't see it above the horizon, as they put it.
So you're not going to see it above the horizon when we go down there.
That's what I believe, yes, because everything I've seen so far has been edited.
Everything.
I just literally put a premiere up just before the stream where Will Duffy said he's going to send me an unedited video. And lo and behold, it was edited.
So you think everybody who has ever recorded the 24-hour sun has edited the video because they're in on some giant conspiracy or they're lying?
All the videos I've seen so far have been faked, yes.
There's like probably thousands of videos. You realize how hard it is to argue that thousands of people are just lying about the shape of the earth? Or just lying about
the videos I've seen. The videos I've seen have been faked. And I have yet to find someone showing me a video that has not been faked yet.
Do you have like one video on hand that's been faked? Like one video?
Yeah, the latest one Will Duffy sent me that claimed was not edited.
What part of it was faked? I think I remember hearing something about 11 frames or something like that.
No, that's another video that people are trying to say I was dishonest because I took their Earth curve away. But instead, I wasn't taking Earth curve away. It was me taking a mirage away.
I imagine there is. There's been thousands of people that have visited Antarctica, so I imagine there's thousands of people who would take interest in the fact that there's a 24-hour sun there recorded. I'm responding to the chatters, by the way.
No stress, man. Let me see if I can quickly get that piece of the video up. I want to show you.
Just look it up on YouTube. You'll find tons and tons of videos of it. Tons and tons of time lapses. Guaranteed.
I don't know if it's thousands, though.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to start it here. This is literally my premiere that was now like an hour ago. This is supposed to be the unedited video. This is the unedited video, okay? Now, this was sent personally to me by Will Duffy. This video. All I did was now just put the music and I put so-called identity.
We see shadows in the night.
Anyway, you can turn off the music. Kind of I don't know the...
No science in the final game. Desperate hearts.
But anyway, all I did is I show the full video, which is 1 minute and 28 seconds long, and then I show where it's edited. You're gonna see that. Okay, here's it.
Dichotomies fall apart. We read the script from the start. Shadow puppets on the wall.
can see there's exactly the same sun flares. The one on the top has clouds, where the bottom one doesn't have clouds, so you can't claim it's the same time. And then the
Right.
timing of the movement also pitches in, and they have exactly the same timing of that wind thing. And the lens flares are exactly the same in the sun. And when it even goes behind this light, the light bulb doesn't even light up.
Okay, that little like wind thing, like I'd notice it was at different positions at the exact.
Yeah, until the
supposed
sun
moment.
got to it. That's my whole point. When I put the arrow there, that's when it started being at the same position.
Okay, but the hue of the sky looks a little bit different in the other clip, and I'm pretty sure
Yeah, but
the
the sun's
spokes that you
exactly the
see.
same. But that's why
Yeah,
it's
but
faked. The
I'm
sun's
pretty sure.
exactly the same.
I'm pretty sure the reason that you see the same spokes is because of the camera lens. I think that's why you get those spokes.
Remember,
Camera
it's
lens is the same.
24 hours later, and it's exactly the same lens flare.
Right. It's called lens flare because it's because of the lens.
And
It's
you
the
don't
lens
have
that's creating the flare.
you don't get exactly the same lens flares. It's impossible.
Over the course of 24 hours with a camera that's in the same spot and isn't messed with in any way, you're not going to get the same lens flare.
No, because remember, you even said that the light has changed, so the lens flare will not be the same because there's different exposure.
The sun is still it's still pretty much the same brightness. It's going to have the same kind of flares.
The light, even the sun's light was the sky's brightness was different as well. And one thing I didn't even show on you, the sun size also changes through the video.
It does.
Yes.
Can we go to the specific moment that you think it changes, or like do we have to speed it up to see its angular
I
size
showed
changing?
it just before you came in. Not much, but it does change a touch. This is the movement. I even give the seconds. You can see it's changed position, and it's even changing a bit of size. Very minimal, but it changes. And
Right.
then also what I show is when the sun is behind the light bulb, it doesn't even light it up. 27 seconds is when it's behind the light bulb. Why doesn't the sun light the light bulb up?
Because light doesn't pass through things that are, well, it does pass through things that are partially translucent, but not as well as things that are completely transparent, like a bunch of air
Oh, let's
molecules
just
together.
take, yeah, and I'm going to pass light through it.
Mhm.
All right. Try to put my light on. Okay. Understand?
Yeah,
That's not what happens.
I think that light bulb is foggier than that jar there.
The point is that it has reflection. So when a light bulb is getting reflected light, it will light up. So that
Right, but
means it's faked.
yeah, but there's not a whole lot of stuff for light, or there's not a whole lot of stuff inside the light bulb for light going into it to reflect off of back to our eyes. That's how we see things when light hits them. Because the light hits the object, then the light comes to us.
Yeah, and light reflects and refracts inside that light bulb. Remember, it's also having internal reflection inside the light bulb itself on the brim, so it should light up. It doesn't.
Okay, I mean, I guess I'll give you that. I'm not an expert on how light works, but I don't think that's really going to cut it in terms of challenging a well-established and very widely accepted model.
What?
Like,
That's one thing I want to ask though. What model? There is no globe model. I keep
what do you
getting
mean?
claimed there's a globe model, but there's no actual globe model.
Yeah, there is. I mean, we're able to make predictions. Why do you think we're able to accurately predict total solar eclipses decades into the future? And they're always right too. We've always gotten them right for like a while.
Can
They
you
always happen
present?
when we say that they will.
Can you present to me your globe model that you claim? Because one thing I try and explain to everybody, you got models for specific areas, but you don't have a model. And that's the same with flat Earth. There's no specific model. It's all just models. So when you, for instance, model out the path of the sun, that's a model for the path of the sun. That doesn't mean
Right.
it's the model for flat Earth. Just like you don't have the model for globe.
I mean, when we model out the path of the sun, I guess it's more so the heliocentric model, not the shape of the Earth. But in terms of the shape of the Earth, I mean, we're able to predict where celestial bodies will be in the celestial sphere at specific times of year based on the fact that the Earth is a sphere that is rotating, that is going around the sun, and we're always like right about it. So like, does that not scream to you that the Earth is probably a sphere because we're able to make
No, because the whole globe is based upon thousands of years of observation. Have you ever heard of the solar cycles before?
the what
Saurus
cycle?
cycles.
Solar cycle?
Saurus. So
Mm,
it's observations done thousands of years where they've been able to see patterns emerge. And the globe just takes those patterns and they've worked it into the globe model, as you put it.
I mean, there's going to be patterns that emerge because it's going around the sun repeatedly. So I, I don't really know what you're trying to say there.
What I'm trying to say is your globe is based on already observed pattern predictions throughout the centuries. And because of this, you guys are claiming globe predictions are true. There's no predictions. It's already got the outcome there because based on history and observation through history.
Okay, well, let's talk about some of the observations. Okay, one of the most easiest ways to know that the Earth is a sphere is if we look at lunar eclipses. So the Earth casts a circular shadow onto the moon all the time whenever it's a lunar eclipse. It doesn't matter where the moon is, doesn't matter where the Earth is, doesn't matter where the source of light is. It is always a circular shadow. It doesn't ever really distort. And the only physical object that always casts a circular shadow is a sphere. So what is a flat Earth explanation for that?
Okay. First of all, you're trying to beg the question that it is a shadow and that the moon is a physical object.
It is.
Secondly,
We
you
landed on
can
it.
have you ever heard of the impossible eclipse before?
Impossible eclipse, no.
It's the selenium eclipse. What happens is you have the sun up in the one side of the sky and you have the moon up in the other side of the sky. They're both above the earth, and yet the earth is supposed to be eclipsing the moon, and the shadow is inverted.
The shadows the way shadows work is that there's a light source and light is it's casting in a specific direction. There's an object that's in that direction, and where the light cannot occupy space is behind the object. So
Yeah, but you
there's no
see, the
such thing as
point
like
with the
inverted
impossible
shadows.
eclipse is it's impossible on your globe because you claim the Earth is the reason for the shadow on the moon.
Right. So what is casting
Now
a
with
shadow on the moon if it's not the Earth?
now with the impossible eclipse, you got the Earth, you got the sun in the sky here, and you got the moon in the sky here. There is no
Right.
way the Earth can block it to give that shadow, and the shadow is coming from the top, not from the bottom.
So yeah, you're right. There is no way for the Earth to cast a shadow onto the moon
And yet we
for us
observe
to
this.
witness it on a flat Earth. It makes sense
But
on a
there,
globe Earth, but not on a flat Earth.
no, it doesn't. The
Yes, it
globe
does.
Earth claims the Earth is blocking. The globe is not in the way to block.
Yeah, it
And the
is.
shadow is coming from the wrong way.
No, it'll be nighttime for people that observed a lunar eclipse because the sun is
No,
on the opposite side of the Earth, casting a
no,
shadow onto the
they
moon.
usually
Or maybe
observe
it's like
this
sunrise or
eclipse.
something.
They usually observe this eclipse very early morning or late evening, when the
Well, yeah,
sun and the moon are both up over the horizon.
you're right. They probably do witness it early morning or late evening, not night, because the sun can, illuminate the moon still, but at the same time, it is on far enough away on the other side of the Earth to cast a shadow, to have the Earth cast a shadow onto the moon. It may not happen in the middle of the night, but it makes sense for it to
How
happen
does it
early
cast
morning
the
and evening.
shadow inverted?
What do you mean when you say inverted shadow?
If the shadow is supposed to be from the bottom because the Earth is blocking from the bottom, why is the shadow from the top?
Why is the shadow what does that mean?
It means the shadow is coming from the opposite direction.
The shadow is coming. This is really simple. The shadow is cast by the object because the light source is going in one way and the shadow is cast in the same direction. It's like really simple. Just like hold any physical object up in your room and you'll see that because the light source is in a specific spot, the shadow is cast in the exact same direction that the light source is traveling relative to the object. It's really simple stuff.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, this will say is the Earth in your model. This will be the sun. Let's just color it in just so we can not.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this will be the moon.
Right.
Okay. Which, tell me how the first of all how the Earth is causing a shadow on the moon.
I don't think it would cast a shadow on the moon in that instance.
Well, this is when it does cast. This is called the impossible eclipse, because you standing here, observing the sun above the horizon, observing the moon above the horizon, and now that's not the only problem. The shadow, sorry,
Okay, so the
is
only
on the top.
yeah. Wait, okay, so the only so are you talking about the shadow on the opposite side? Oh, okay. I'm not really sure that happens. The only stuff I can find about impossible eclipse is on flat Earth websites. I don't see anybody.
No, it's called the
posting anything.
selenium eclipse, the impossible eclipse, because that's exactly what happens. But I think when you have time, go and look it up, and you'll see this happen. Remember, the flat earthers don't really make a claim on what the moon and sun is, so we don't really have to care on why there's an eclipse or something. The old ancients used to believe in Rahu and Ketu, so they used to believe there's a second invisible disk that goes and swallows up the sunlight or moonlight. You know what I mean?
Can you show me the graphic that you're showing just now again? I don't know if you close it out or not.
I took it off already.
So obviously the side of the moon that's facing the Earth is going to be illuminated because the sunlight is hitting the Earth and it's reflecting off of it and going back to the moon. But I really don't know what that has to do with lunar eclipses, though. What you were showing us.
It's called an impossible eclipse for a reason. Remember, you claimed the Earth is the cause for
Lunar eclipses. I'm not talking about impossible.
Yeah, lunar eclipse.
Right, which is when the Earth casts its shadow onto the moon.
Yeah, and this shows that the Earth cannot cast a shadow onto the moon because it's not able to be in its path to cast the shadow, and the shadow comes from the top, not from the bottom.
So the shadow is on the face of the moon facing away from us? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's simple. The guy stands, he looks right, he sees the full sun above the horizon, looks left, sees the full moon above the horizon, and the casting of the shadow coming down and not up. It's not hard to understand.
So the moon, it kind of is. So you're saying the moon's casting a shadow onto the Earth, or the Earth is casting a shadow?
The Earth. Your guys claim the Earth is casting a shadow on the moon.
Right.
Yet the Earth is not in its path to cast a shadow on the moon. And the moon's shadow is from the top and not from the bottom.
Right. But I mean, is this like a specific type of lunar eclipse or what?
Yeah, it's called the impossible eclipse for a reason. Because it doesn't work with the model. I
can't tell if you're either just not explaining this well enough or you're just obfuscating it. I don't know. I mean, I'm just looking at a graphic here. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, yeah, the sun is going to cast some light onto the moon. That's why we can see the moon. But it's also the case that the Earth, or that the moon is close enough to the Earth, but not too far behind it, that it's completely obscured by sunlight. But we can see the shadow that the Earth casts on the moon, as well as the light that is illuminating the moon because of the sun.
Okay, anyway, like I said, you don't even know about it, so it doesn't even have going on about it. But
I don't know if we can.
What about celestial navigation, though?
Celestial navigation?
Hmm.
People use stars to navigate the globe?
Yeah, well, not the globe, the Earth.
The Earth, right. Since we're talking about stars, how would you explain different directions of rotations with regards to stars? Stars rotate different directions depending on what hemisphere you're in, right?
Yeah, hemisphere. Yeah. I'm in the south, so remember, stars always move east to west, no matter where you are on the Earth.
No matter where you are on the Earth.
Always move east to west. Yes.
But so if you're standing in the northern hemisphere, it's going to rotate one way, and you're standing in the
Same way.
southern hemisphere, it's going to rotate the other way.
Let me try and make it simple. When you stand, let's say there's a road in front of you, and the cars are traveling right to left. Okay,
Right.
and you are looking southward. So you're standing north, looking south, and the cars are coming east to west. So it's appearing to come right to left to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now you're going across the road. You turn around. Now you're looking northward from south.
Right.
Those same cars are still traveling east to west. Now they look like they're going left to right.
Right. But it's the exact same thing is happening on a globe. Okay. North on a globe means the North Pole. You're facing towards the North Pole. And south on a globe means you're facing towards the South Pole. But if you're in the northern hemisphere and you turn 180 degrees, it's not going to change the direction of star rotation.
It's always east to west, no matter where you go.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me see if I can draw it again.
Okay.
Okay.
I should have come with visuals. It's kind of hard to explain all this stuff.
How long have you been into this flat Earth thing?
I mean, maybe a couple of years, but I never actually had a live discussion with somebody, so it's harder to demonstrate things. But
okay, let's do this. Okay, let's do it this way. We're gonna say there's north, east, west. Okay, that's the stars moving east to west. You'd agree? So
right.
If I'm looking upwards, I'm facing south. Which way do those stars appear to move?
I don't remember whether it's counterclockwise or clockwise. Let's say it turns to the left, to the west, I guess.
We're just making it we're not making it 3-dimensional. We're just making it so it's just easy to understand. Okay. So it's moving from your right shoulder to your left shoulder.
Sure.
Okay. Then we go across. Okay. Let's do it this way. Then we go across this way, and you look the opposite this way. Okay?
Right.
Now it's going left shoulder to right shoulder. But It's still traveling east to west.
Right.
So one way it looks clockwise, the other way it looks anti-clockwise.
Okay, just imagine. So imagine the Earth is a globe for a second, and you're standing on the ground, and you look up. The stars aren't rotating. If you want to say east and west is your relative left to right, that's fine. But if you're looking straight up and you see the stars rotating from your right shoulder to your left shoulder, okay, turn 180 degrees behind you, they're still going to be going from your left shoulder to your right shoulder. Yes. The only way you change that direction is if you look at the stars upside down, but that's obviously kind of weird. But it's true. The direction of rotation will only change if you change your I forget the name of it. It's like the yaw. It's the x-axis. If you change your x-axis by 180 degrees, it will change its direction of rotation. But if you change your y-axis by 180 degrees, it will not. It will maintain the direction.
But that's the thing. There is no change of rotation. It's exactly the same. It's always east to west. That's my whole point. There is no two different rotations in your southern and northern hemisphere, as you put it. It's going the same direction. It's just based on your location, based on perspective. So where you're standing in your location determines if it looks like it's going anti-clockwise or clockwise. It always goes the same direction.
So it's clockwise no matter where you are on the globe. or counterclockwise,
In
no
Earth,
matter where
it's
you are.
always it's an apparent clockwise and anti-clockwise. The movement is
Yes.
always the same east to west. That's my point.
So, but it does change from clockwise to counterclockwise at some point.
Yeah, it's an optical illusion.
Yeah, because you're changing your x-axis rotation by 180 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so
I
that
just
only
got to
makes
point
sense
out.
on the
I
sphere.
just got to point out though, you are understanding. We're talking about the stars moving now, not the Earth.
Right. I'm talking about why this makes sense on the globe and not a flat disk. It changes the direction rotation. The direction of rotation changes because you're moving from one hemisphere to the other. That makes sense on a flat globe because you're changing your x-axis rotation according to
But I
the
just
celestial sphere.
explained to you it. I just explained to you it doesn't require any shape. It's just got to do with the movement of the stars and your location.
It may not require
Not
any
going to
shape, but it
change
would
the difference
require
between. And
it,
by the
it.
way, everything on your globe is based on a flat Earth.
Is it?
Yes.
What is based on a flat Earth?
No, your globe's based on a flat Earth.
How is it based on a flat Earth? What does that mean?
Every measurement ever made for your globe, everything you've done for navigation comes from a flat Earth. Measurement calculation is based off of first measuring flat Earth.
So
Even your
the
maps and
systems
models come derived from a flat Earth.
we used to believe in a flat Earth, but then we realized that it's a sphere. I don't know what you're trying to say about that. Do you think that our systems use a flat Earth model nowadays, or do you think they use
Everything,
a
even your satellite,
GPS?
even your GPS, everything uses a horizontal plane reference.
Do you know what GPS stands for?
Global Positioning System.
So why would it be called a global positioning system if it's based on a flat
Because
disk?
you guys believe it's a globe, but it's based off of a plane Cartesian system.
A plane Cartesian system.
Yes.
Pretty sure a Cartesian system is just a global coordinate system where you have x, y,
The coordinate
and z
system
axes.
is based off of latitudes and longitudes. It was derived from a flat baseline.
Okay, yeah, we used to believe that the Earth was flat. I guess I understand that you're
No,
trying to
it
say
doesn't
that.
matter if you believe the Earth is flat or not.
Sure.
It still comes from a flat Earth. Even
But
surveyors today, when they do surveying, they require the flat Earth to be there for measurements, and then they calculate their curve based on slope and incline angles.
based on the curvature of the Earth.
No, there's no
Ask,
curve measure at all.
ask any construction worker, and they'll tell you that the Earth is a sphere.
I can ask you any construction work will tell you level is horizontal.
Level is horizontal. It is perpendicular to the direction that gravity is pulling everything in.
No.
That's what level means. Yes.
Level is perpendicular to all plumb lines meets Earth's surface.
Level is just perpendicular to sea level, which
Sea level is
perpendicular.
horizontal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Level means parallel with sea level. Yeah, duh. But level means perpendicular to the force gravity is pulling everything in. The direction gravity is pulling everything in. Yes, it does. Ask any person worth their salt, they'll tell you that's what it means.
Okay, let me quickly show you. There we go. Can you see my screen again?
Yes.
A line of surface that cuts perpendicularly all plumb lines that it meets, hence would everywhere coincide with the surface of still water.
That doesn't
It's
say
all
anything
plumb
about
lines.
the shape of the Earth.
Yes, it does. Do you understand what all plumb lines means?
Something to do with plumbing? This is just one definition that you're pulling
No,
off
do
of
you know what a
dictionary.
plumb line is?
A rough idea. I'm not a plumber. Does it have to do with plumbing?
No, a plumb line is a vertical. How do I put it? If you've ever held a string before and there's a plumb bob on there and it falls perfectly vertical, that's a plumb line.
Right.
It's established vertical.
Right.
So what it's saying is all plumb lines have exactly the same perpendicular cut horizontal.
So
On a globe, you can't have this because you have different plumb lines.
You have different like you say that they should be like swinging in different directions on a globe or something like that.
No, there's no swinging. Okay, I'm gonna draw
So,
again.
so a plumb line is like a level, but you're making sure that it's vertical, right? A level
It
tool, but
falls
it's like
level.
you
Yes,
make sure it's
a
vertical.
plumb line always falls level.
Okay, so what is you bringing up a plumb line have anything to do with the shape of the Earth?
I'm gonna show you quickly.
Okay,
Okay, I'm gonna show you both.
thought he said he
Sphere.
knew construction. I didn't say I knew construction. I just said ask any construction worker. That's why I didn't claim to
Yeah,
be a
yeah.
construction worker.
There's a reason why construction workers use water levels. Okay, so
Because
this is
gravity
your
pulls the
sphere.
bubble.
This is a flat Earth. A plumb line,
Right,
I'll do it in red, is a vertical. Okay,
right,
so on a flat Earth, we always have plumb lines, always same verticals, no
right,
matter where you place them on the Earth. A
right,
globe, you see it follows the curve. You understand?
right, right.
Do you know what perpendicular means?
Yes, it means 90 degrees from
Nice.
something else.
Okay. Yeah, so 90 degrees. So if we set a 90 degree, you see it sets 90 degree right through them. And it coincides with, what does it say? Still water. So we'll say this is still water.
Right,
So it's not moving. Okay. You see it shows 90, 90, 90 right through. That's perfect for the definition. Now, let's try
right.
this for the globe.
Yeah, I know where you're going. It's a sphere, so it's not going to be a perfect 90 degrees.
So it can't
But
be perpendicular.
right, it may not be precisely perpendicular, but the Earth is very large. So for all intents and purposes, it pretty much is. You know how large the Earth is? It's
Yeah,
about
I know the argument too large to see curve, but small enough to see boats go over the curve.
right. Yeah. What's wrong with that?
It's a contradiction in terms. It's an oxymoron. You can't be too big to see curve and not big enough to see curve.
Okay, you're going to see curve over a large distance. You're not going to see it over a small one.
According to your geometry, you're supposed to see curve over 3 miles.
I don't know. I don't know the calculations, but still, like a building is.
It's based on
not
1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. So if I'm 1 foot observer height, the horizon should be 1.22 miles away. And that's where your curve should be starting.
right, but still, the scale of buildings does not compare to the scale of the distance between you and a boat that appears to go over the horizon. That's what I'm trying to say. You can't. There's no false equivalency there. There's no hypocrisy there.
No, the thing is, like I'm trying to tell you, everything your globe is based upon is falsified by understanding it's measured flat first, and it's just hijacking things that we see, like with perspective.
Okay. While I'm not like an expert on physics or science or anything, none of us here are.
I think
Um,
I'm not too bad at physics. Which physics you want to talk
that's
about?
not true. Otherwise, you would not be a flat earther because all physicists say that the Earth is a sphere. Why are you the one
You want to
physicist
test?
that is
Wait,
not?
wait, wait. You want to test this out? Because I'm a flat earther, then I don't know physics. Is that so
I'm not
true?
saying that. I'm
Okay.
not saying it's impossible for you to know physics, but if you're honest with yourself and you know physics, you would not be a flat earther. Ask literally
Oh
any
no, no.
qualified physicist; they will say
The
that the Earth
reason I'm a flat
is
earther is because I
sphere.
understand physics.
Really, and all the other physicists are wrong.
There's a difference between indoctrinated and understanding where the lie has been.
So the physicists are dumb
Well,
enough to be
let's do it
indoctrinated.
this way. Let's work on to physics. Can you give me physics for gravity?
Well, it's 9.8 meters a second squared. That's the acceleration.
Okay, so would you say that was scientifically validated?
Yes, people have done math, they've done experiments, they've done tests. We
No,
use
I
it
said
all the time.
science. No, I said
Science.
science.
Yeah, science. You make a prediction, you verify the prediction by doing experiments, and you do math and stuff like that, and the math checks out. That's basically what science is. You make
No.
sure something is repeatable. Yeah, that's
Do you
exactly
know
what
the
science
science?
is.
Do you know the scientific method?
Scientific method. Rough idea. You make an observation, make a hypothesis, make a prediction, test that prediction, and if that prediction is repeatable, if it's verified, it does. You can do it over and over. It's you can say, oh yeah, this is true. That this hypothesis is true, and that's
Okay,
what
so
we've done with gravity.
so what did we have? What have we observed for gravity?
That things fall down when you let go of them. at a rate of
Great. Then what's
9.8 meters a second squared.
cool? So what is the hypothesis then for things falling to the ground?
I guess Isaac Newton's hypothesis was that mass generates a force called gravity, um, and it's based on the distance between the two objects as well as the mass of the two objects. And he derived an equation, and he made observations. People made observations, and those observations and predictions were verified over
You
hundreds of
see,
years.
this is the same. This is the same thing I did with FTFE the other night, where he couldn't get past this. When I observe this cup falling, okay, we're going to say this is the first step. Observe a natural phenomenon. So the cup fell. Great.
Right.
What was the observation you just made?
That the cup fell because you let go of it. Gravity.
Okay, cool. So it fell. We observed it accelerating towards the ground.
Yes.
So the thing is, your hypothesis should now be what causes that cup to fall to the ground.
Gravity. Some force.
No. Your hypothesis should be I'm trying to figure out what caused the acceleration to the ground.
You letting go of it. There's no other force preventing it from falling to the ground. So some force is causing it to fall to the ground.
Some force. Okay, great.
Right.
How would you test that force?
How would you test that force? I don't think you're willing to test to see if the force is there because the thing fell, but
You do, because that's what a hypothesis is for. It's to tell you what your IV for your DV is. Do you know what an independent variable is?
independent variable. Variable that does not change.
It's the manipulated variable. Yeah. And the dependent variable?
The dependent variable is the thing that does change.
Yeah, based on the independent variable. So the independent variable is manipulated, which gives you the cause for your dependent variable. Great. So when I drop this and you claim there's a force accelerating it, how are you going to go and manipulate that accelerated force?
How can you manipulate the force? If you drop it with a force, so you like force it down further. But I don't really know what you're getting at. Are you saying, what is your position of gravity? Do you think it's real?
I'm trying to show you very rudimentarily, like I did to FTFE, that gravity has never gone through the scientific method to be claimed as science.
But it has.
There is no such thing for gravity to be. It's pseudoscience.
It's okay. What's your explanation for why things fall down? Then is it going to be density and buoyancy? Because that hinges on gravity, right?
No. Relative density disequilibrium.
Relative density. So you're still talking about density.
No. Not specific gravity. Relative density disequilibrium. It's a total different thing. It's not specific gravity. Specific gravity hinges off of gravity, which first hijacked Archimedes' principle.
Okay.
I'm talking about relative density disequilibrium. It's got nothing to do with gravity at all.
But it is your explanation for why things fall down?
Yes. And
Right.
I can do it scientifically for you as well.
So the cup is more dense than the air, therefore the cup falls through the air down. Okay.
It displaces the cup is not able to displace its own weight based on its ratio towards the medium, therefore it accelerates towards the ground.
But why down?
Because I picked it up, I put energy into the system. You wouldn't expect it to
Right.
still go up because that would violate the first law of thermodynamics. You would have to put more energy into the system for it to go up.
But we all know that things can't move unless some force is applied to them, right?
And I added a force now, correct? When I picked it up, I forced it out of its relative equilibrium.
But if you let go of that cup, it goes down. Why down specifically? Not up.
Because I had to put energy into the system to get it up. So I put potential energy into the system.
Right. But when you apply a force to an object, it retains that force unless another force is acting on it. So if you were to let go of the cup,
Does this cup have an unbalanced force when I let it go?
an unbalanced force, yeah, because it moves down. Yeah.
There we go. So
what is that
it's able to, just like with general relativity, where the masses are able to warp space and time around it, this cup is able to warp the space around it in the medium. So it has an unbalanced force, therefore accelerates to the ground.
But why the ground? Why that direction specifically, not
because
not
I
any other direction?
because I picked it up
Right.
from its relative equilibrium, and because the air cannot support the cup. Remember, it's just displacing the medium around it. If I had to take the same cup and now stick it in water and it starts floating, okay, the medium is able to support it based on its relative density, displacement ratio. So its ratio is able to keep it up.
Okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying with regards to density, but why down specifically? Why that direction? You're not explaining the
Because
direction.
I had to put energy to pick it up. So its natural tendency is to use that energy to go back to where it came from.
Where do you think it gets that potential energy?
It's unbalanced force based on
Why is the
the
force unbalanced?
displacement ratios.
The
You do
force
know
becomes
I don't know
unbalanced
why
once
you're
you
fighting
release
for a
it.
force anyway. Your gravity doesn't have a force either.
Yeah, I'm not an expert in relativity, but for all intents and purposes, let's just call gravity a force. It
But
pulls
it's
things
not a
down.
force. That's the point. You're trying to false equivocate. You require some force for relative density equilibrium because you don't even have it for your gravity
Okay.
either.
Okay, you can just like continue obfuscating so you don't have to answer the
There's
question.
no
Why does it go down?
obfuscating. You
You're
have double
obfuscating.
standards. You're trying
Double
to tell me
standards.
I require force, which I clearly say I don't. It's just based on an unbalanced force, just like general relativity would explain it in the fourth dimension, where it's just physical matter displacing the air around it.
You just
You, on the other hand, require a physical force for Newtonian
yes.
gravity, which doesn't exist.
Things don't move unless we apply a force to them, correct?
Yes.
So there's a force that is needed here for the cup to fall,
If you stick a bowling ball on a slope
right?
and there's a pebble holding it, and you remove that pebble, the ball starts moving.
Right.
Great. Is it because of an unbalanced force, or is it just because something's pulling it or pushing it?
It's both the same thing. An unbalanced force just means one force is stronger than the other. The ball's
Because
potential
the center
energy
of the center of
becomes
mass is off
kinetic energy.
balance. The center of mass is off balance.
The center, no, not necessarily. It's all made of the same material. The center of mass is in the center of the ball. The reason it's moving is because there's nothing preventing gravity from pulling it anymore. That's why it moves
Gravity
down.
doesn't pull. That's my whole point.
This does.
No, it doesn't. Gravity is not
So
a
what's
force.
pulling?
Gravity hasn't been seen as a force for 110 years already.
Okay, but what is causing things to fall then?
Displacement ratio.
Displacement ratio. But
And I
that's
can
not
show
enough.
that scientifically because you can show you can actually do experiments to show if you change the ratios between the object and the medium, you either have it accelerating up, being neutral, or it going down. Same thing.
Do you realize?
You're either able to because you just have to go and manipulate the displacement ratios to give the desired result.
But you do realize displacement is only a thing because of gravity, right?
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
This cup is displacing the air around it. What's gravity got to do with this cup displacing the air around it?
Because it's pulling on the cup harder than the air molecules.
No,
The
it's
cup is
not.
denser. Yes, it is. It has more matter in it than
The gas can't go through this cup. You can't occupy the same space. Gravity has nothing to do with this cup displacing the air around it.
yes, it does.
Air,
Air is
sorry,
less dense than a cup.
where I'm sitting, are you able to sit where I'm sitting at the same time? You
No.
can't occupy the same space at the same time. That's displacement.
Well, yeah.
So not gravity. It's got nothing to do with it.
So why is the cup moving down though? Not up, not left, not right.
Because I've explained it to you.
When you try to
Because I've
shove
explained it to you.
when you
I've
try to
explained to you.
shove when you try to shove a wooden plank into a something that is less dense than water, when you try to shove it into water, does it always go down? No, it actually floats up. So why does it float up if there's displacement going
Because
on,
of
not
the
down?
displacement ratio.
Displacement ratio? That's the same
Yes.
explanation you
It's
have for the
not
cup going
able
down
to
in air.
displace it's able to displace its weight so it can be supported by the medium. This is why you have cargo ships on the ocean that are able to float, because they're just displacing their weight.
Right.
It's a ratio.
Right.
Archimedes principle.
So it has to do with the density of the objects, right?
Well, there's no such thing as any object that doesn't have density. The density
Correct.
is just simply the name given for the amount of substance in a given volume.
Yes. So why is it that things that are more dense tend to go down and things that are less dense tend to be displaced above it?
I told you, because of its displacement ratios. This is what
You're
Archimedes
just saying-
principle. This was what Archimedes principle was talking about before gravity was postulated. You know, Archimedes principle was 1,900 years predates Newton by 1,900 years.
No, I didn't know that. But you're just saying that the reason less dense objects are displaced higher up than denser objects is you're just saying, oh, because of density. You're not explaining why this is
No,
happening.
displacement, not because of density, because of displacement.
Right, which
You
occurs
can
because
take-
of the density of the objects and only occurs because of gravity.
Gravity has nothing to do with displacement.
Yes, it does.
At all.
It has everything
No,
to
it
do with it.
hasn't. What
It
is
doesn't have a
gravity?
face.
What has gravity got to do with me sitting in this chair and the air is not able to be where I'm sitting right now?
What does gravity have to do with it? You're denser than the air. That's
No,
why it's not
I
pushing
am
you up.
occupying space. The air cannot occupy the same space as me. That's displacement. I'm displacing the air around me. It's the same when you climb in a bathtub. You displace the water. Okay?
Right. Right.
That's
But
not
we're talking.
gravity. It can't physically be in the same space as you.
Right, but we're talking about why objects fall down. We're not talking about displacement. That's what
That
we're
is
talking
why
about.
things fall. Because
So why-
of its
why not up?
displacement ratios.
Why doesn't it displace it upwards?
Because it takes energy to pick it up. You'll be violating the first law of thermodynamics to think it should still go up after you stop picking it up.
Well, yeah, because you're still holding it, like the friction's preventing it from leaving your hand. But if you throw a cup
No.
upwards in the middle of space, guess what?
Let me put it
keeps
this
going.
way. Okay? I'm going to throw it up now. It's going to have potential energy. It's going to use up that energy and turn into kinetic energy.
Because of gravity. Forces don't just appear out of nowhere like magic.
Did I apply a force to the cup or did it just appear out of nowhere?
You applied a force to the cup, but then it started
There we
falling
go.
down. But then it started falling down. What's causing
in
that
which
force?
direction did I apply the force?
Upwards, but then it started falling down. What is that
Great.
force?
So did it require energy to get it to go up?
Yes.
Great. So why would you expect it to go further up if I'm not putting more energy into the system?
I don't expect it to because of gravity.
Gravity has got nothing to do with this again.
Yes,
You're
it does.
telling me why? You asking me why is it not going up instead of down? I'm telling you
Right.
because to get it up, you require energy. It's like lighting a light bulb. You require energy to light the light bulb. No energy, no lighting up light bulb. No energy, no lifting up cup.
What I've been trying to say is why do objects, when they are more dense in a less dense medium, why do they go down towards to the ground and not up whenever you let
I
go
don't
of
know
it?
how am I going to make this more clear. Displacement ratios.
Which only happens because of gravity.
No,
Gravity's
which
pulling
only
harder on
happens
denser
because
objects.
it can't displace you can't occupy the same space. Everything has space that it takes up.
You're talking
You
about
can't
electron
occupy
degeneracy.
the space. Gas, my hand cannot be in the same place as this cup at the same time. You get
Right,
it?
you're talking
So
about
look, my
electron
hand is
degeneracy.
going. My hand and the cup is trying to displace each other. They can't physically be in the same space at the same time.
Because of electron
absolutely sweet bugger all
degeneracy.
to do with gravity.
You're right. You're right. You not being able to punch a hole through the cup has nothing to do with gravity. That's why I'm not trying to talk about that. You're talking about electron degeneracy. I don't know if you know what that is, but that's the reason objects can't really go inside of each other, because electrons repel each other. But I'm trying to talk about the force. You're sorry because you can't divert the topic away from the thing that we're talking about.
So is general relativity false?
No.
But general relativity specifically says there's no force.
I don't know what it says, but I know a lot of smart people say that
I know what it
true.
says. That's why I'm telling you what it says.
I don't know the semantics of whether gravity is considered a force or not, but I don't know
It's
why we're
not a
getting bogged
force.
down
It
in the
hasn't been seen
semantics.
as a force for 110 years. General relativity specifically states gravity is not an actual force. It's only
That's not
apparent.
to say it's not a real thing. That just
It's
means
not.
that
It's not a force.
that's not Einstein saying it's not a real thing. It's just not what we thought it was.
Einstein was telling you that Newton's force of gravity doesn't exist. It's not
No,
actually a
he
force.
was
So
not saying that.
when
You're just
yes,
lying.
it is. So when this
No.
cup, according to Einstein, when this cup falls to the ground, it's not actually falling. It is. That's what's got zero g. It is only appearing to fall because the ground is going up to meet it. It's taking a curved geodesic, appearing to be a straight path.
Okay, so the ground is moving up a very minute amount, but the cup is the one that is mostly moving.
The cup's not moving at all, according to general relativity.
Okay, but generally speaking, would you say that the Earth is moving up or the cup is moving down?
None. There's nothing happening. When I hold this cup, nothing's moving.
So
When I let it
neither
go, the
the Earth or
cup
the
is
cup is
physically
moving?
dropping. When I let it go, the cup is physically dropping
Right.
because it's physically accelerating because
What-
it cannot hold its own weight due to the displacement ratio. So the medium is not dense enough to be able to hold it. This is why you can have something, let's say polystyrene. It's less dense than the cup, but I can rest it on polystyrene. Why? Because it's able to displace it because it's a solid.
Right. Okay. It seems like we're not getting over this, but that does make me want to ask a question. What is weight?
Weight is just simply the product of the medium, of the density to mass.
What is so weight?
How much stuff is compacted in a volume and then packaged, if I put it that way, because I'm not going to say gravity because that's exactly what you want to put it.
Weight is how strongly an object is being pulled down to the Earth.
Again, gravity is not a force. It does not do that. But I got a question for you, though.
So why is
What
everyone
happens?
saying that gravity is a thing, and you're the one guy who says they're not?
Because
That it's not a thing.
I've been saying to you, gravity has never gone through the science to claim to
Yes, it
be
has.
science.
It's been
You
tested.
haven't
It's
given me
been work.
where
I can't
there
give you.
is no.
I can't give you specific. Well, maybe I can't give you specific examples. Why are we able to program satellites to traverse a specific orbit using Einstein's
Where
equations, and
in
yet they are
Narnia?
able to traverse the path that we want them to?
In
We use
Narnia.
Einstein's equation. Am I in Narnia? I remember you saying that. No, I'm not in Narnia. That's not a good
No,
example to
I'm
you.
saying that's where your satellites are claiming to be in a place that violates natural law.
How? What? I'm talking about how people have programmed satellites using Einstein's equations to
And
traverse a
Einstein's
specific path,
equation says,
and they traverse
and
that path.
Einstein's equations use a flat baseline. It says space is flat.
No, they don't. We use a
Yes, it
global.
does.
We
You
use a
keep
global
telling me
system.
you don't know general relativity, yet you
Why
want
is
to
it called
tell
a
me what
GPS
general
then?
relativity says.
I have a rough idea what it is. You're trying to deny what
I know
relativity
more
is.
than you on it. That's for
No,
sure.
you don't, because you're saying that Einstein says that gravity is not a real thing. That's what you're trying to derive from
I
relativity.
said Einstein says gravity is not a force.
Right, but you were saying a minute ago that it's not a real thing.
I'm saying it's not a real thing because it hasn't been shown to be real. There hasn't been any validation for your claims.
I'm saying that you said that Einstein said it's not real.
Einstein said gravity is not a force.
Right?
Do you understand that?
Yes, I know what you mean by that. It's
So
technically
which one are you
not
going
a
to ascribe
force.
to? Newtonian physics that says that's classical mechanics that says force of gravity, or
Right.
Einsteinian gravity that superseded Newtonian gravity 110 years ago that says no, gravity is not a force. It only
Okay.
appears to be a force because of its geodesic path appearing to take a straight path.
Okay. Regardless of the semantics, things still fall down. Gravity is still a thing. It is still a thing that we observe.
Sorry, you haven't shown me evidence that gravity has done this. I'm telling you things are falling down because of relative density disequilibrium.
I
You
don't
are
need to
saying
show
things are
you
falling
evidence.
down because of gravity. I am able to make a scientific hypothesis and experiment explaining how relative density causes this. You are just able to say because people say so.
Yes. I find it hard to believe that hundreds of thousands of people over like the past several hundred years saying the same thing are wrong, and you're right. Do you
Okay,
not realize like the
were you taught gravity is
ego on
real?
you?
Were you taught gravity is real?
Yes.
Does it make it real?
Not necessarily, but when you have hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people saying the same thing that are all smart,
Did everybody go through the same educational system teaching gravity is real?
pretty much, I guess, yeah.
And you just admit it doesn't make it real. So just because you taught it's real
I said
doesn't
it
mean
doesn't
it's real.
necessarily make it real. That doesn't mean it's not real, though.
Do you know anything about string theory?
Oh, I know nothing about it. It's like the theory of everything or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, every time they find problems, they just add another dimension. So they've already got to 12 dimensions.
I'm pretty sure string theory is not really widely accepted, so I don't know why we're talking about it. I've heard
Right,
it's
so
not
you
widely
understand
accepted.
string theory is bogus.
I wouldn't say I understand, but I heard bits and pieces of people saying that they
Okay.
don't think it's correct.
Did those string theorists go through the education system and learn about string theory as true?
I don't think they did. No.
Yes, they did.
Was,
Yes, they did. That's literally why they're string theorists.
maybe they teach it in college. Yeah,
They
sure.
had to go to
But
university and everything to do it. Now, are you claiming they're all wrong?
no, I'm not saying they're wrong.
You just
That's
said it's
not the
bogus.
basis of my argument. That's not the basis of my argument. The basis of my argument is, okay, we have hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people across hundreds of years saying the same thing. I find it hard to believe that they're wrong. Like,
Okay.
it's
You know
not
what?
it's not a surefire way to verify if something's true or not, but it's like 99%. So I really don't see a reality in which all these people.
Okay, let's do another way. Have you ever heard of Flatzoid before?
No. What is that?
Flatzoid used to be the belief or the cause for fire.
What does this have to do with this?
Everybody was taught Flatzoid was the cause for fire. Everybody believed it. The whole earth believed this. Flatzoid was the cause for fire.
Right.
Does it mean Flatzoid was real?
No.
Great.
We can be wrong about things. But that doesn't
So
mean
just
that what we
because
know right
thousands
now
of
is wrong.
people, just because hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people say gravity's real, that doesn't make gravity real then?
The difference is that we can test that gravity is real. We can't test that whatever theory you're
Test
talking
it.
about.
That's what I'm saying. Test it then. Give me a scientific hypothesis and experiment for gravity. You haven't been able to get
There is
past, I see things accelerate.
I just explained to you the satellite thing. We program satellites with Einstein's
Sorry,
equations.
we haven't even got there yet. We haven't even got there yet. I want you now to go
I
through the
don't need
scientific
to.
method with me and show me this cup accelerating is due to gravity.
Due to gravity. Well, go through the scientific method. Okay, I observe that when I let go of the cup, it falls. Okay, something must be pulling it down, right? So I make a
No.
prediction. Something.
Why
No?
must something be pulling it down?
Well, that's the observation, right? We observe that it falls into the ground.
No,
Right.
you observe a cup falling. You don't observe things pulling it. You don't observe things pushing it. You just
That's what I
observe
just
it.
said. I observed the cup falling down. So I conclude, oh, why is it falling down? Things don't just move on their own like that. There must be something pulling it down.
Okay.
prediction
So
is-
what's the cause? What's the cause for this falling down?
Some force, because things don't
Okay,
move
how
on their
you
own.
great. And what is the cause for this force?
Mass and distance between the two objects.
No, that's not the cause for force.
So what is
Because
it?
I have a mass now and it's a distance, it's not falling. Mass
Okay.
a mass sitting just there has a distance from something is not moving. So that's not the cause for acceleration to the ground.
Yes.
You understand with science you have to physically manipulate the cause. So the cause is a force of acceleration. What is that force of acceleration so you can manipulate it?
Gravity.
Sorry, gravity hasn't been shown yet. You're making
Like I said, the
you're already
satellites.
jumping the gun. You're saying it's an accelerator force. So how are you going to manipulate that accelerator force to say there is an accelerator force?
Manipulate. How are we going to manipulate the force of gravity? Why are we talking about manipulating things?
Exactly. How are you going to manipulate the force of gravity? That's my whole point. So then again, this
By
is
changing
why
the distance,
gravity is
but
not
we can't
science,
do that.
because it hasn't gone through the scientific method to
It
be
has.
claimed as science.
It has. We base
Where's-
everything
where?
we do off of, like I said, satellites.
Satellites are not based on the force of gravity. Again,
Yes, they
you are
are.
trying. No, it's
We
not.
use Einstein's
It's based,
equations to.
which is not the force of gravity.
What? You
It's
know what
not a
relativity is about?
force.
It covers gravity. Yes, it may not be a force
Einstein's
semantically,
general
but
relativity says gravity is not a force. You are fighting for
it may not say
gravity
it's a
as
force,
a
but it is
force.
still a thing. It doesn't say that gravity is a thing. That's what it seems like you're trying to say.
No, you are fighting for gravity as a force. When you
It
evoke
doesn't.
general relativity, it means gravity is not a force. They are two different
Right.
things.
Right. He may be saying that it's not a force, but it is a phenomenon that we still observe where things move because of mass and distance.
I
So
don't
it's
know
a
how I
thing
get.
it's a thing whether or not you want to call it a force, it still happens. Why are we're getting bogged down in the
Okay,
semantics? You're
can a
obfuscating it on
no
purpose
no
because
no
you don't want
can
to
a
actually stay
thing
on topic.
can a thing be a force and not a force at the same time?
No, it depends on what you mean by force.
So it's the contradiction then.
I guess whatever. Okay, I don't know the specific semantics, but it is still a thing regardless. That's what I'm trying to get at. There is still something that is
Gravity
causing an
is
object
not
to
a
fall to the
thing.
ground.
That's the whole point.
So then why do
Just
objects
claiming
fall?
it's a thing doesn't make it a thing.
But objects fall.
Yes. And you haven't given a viable hypothesis in scientific experiment to say it is based on gravity of why it falls.
Relativity explains why things fall to the ground. And we have verified that relativity is a thing. With
You don't even know what relativity is, yet you want to claim this.
the it is the
By
curvature
the
of
way,
space-time around large objects.
general relativity is only a mathematical base. It's a thought experiment made by
It's a
Einstein in
theory.
the fourth
Do you know what a theory is?
thought experiment.
It's not just a thought experiment. Do you know what a theory
How did
is?
it become a theory? Do you know what a scientific theory is?
Yes.
What's a
It's an
scientific theory?
explanation of a series of observations and laws.
No.
It's essentially what it is. Yeah.
To be a
That's what it
scientific
is.
theory, it would have to go through the scientific method. It would have to be validated.
Which
It
is why it's a
hasn't gone through
theory.
the scientific method.
Yes, it has.
How did general relativity get through the scientific method?
I don't know the specific historical events, but satellites is one of the easiest ways to know that.
Let's first start again with general relativity from
Okay, why do
observation.
you keep ignoring the satellites thing?
How do you observe general relativity?
Why do you hate the satellites thing? I've asked you that question a million times. I've made that point a million times, but you just divert every single time.
Dude, you don't even know what general relativity is. So I'm trying to make a point
I'm
to
not going to
show
pretend to
that
be
you
an
just
expert. Neither are
claiming
you.
things. Dude, I know more than you do, clearly. So I'm going to
I'm
ask
not sure you do because you're saying that gravity is not a thing because Einstein
It's
said it's
not
not
a
force.
thing. Even
he
it's an
just explained
illusion.
what it
Even in
is.
general relativity,
It may be
gravity
an
is an
illusion, but it's
illusion.
still there.
Wait.
It may be an
Even
illusion,
in
but it's still
general
there.
relativity, gravity is an illusion. Do you
Right, but
know
it's
who
still
Eric
there.
van Linde is? Do you know Eric van Linde?
No.
He says gravity doesn't exist.
Who is he? How do you spell his last
He's a
name?
physicist, the top physicist today. He calls it entropic gravity. He says gravity doesn't actually exist.
I imagine you're misquoting him. He
Oh,
probably
really?
acknowledges that there is a force or there is something that is pulling. There is a reason
Gravity
that
doesn't
objects fall
exist.
to the ground.
Okay, I just want to quickly read my 2 super chats while you're going to look that up. I just want to appreciate all you guys coming. Please hit the like, share the show. Roger Ledwell for your $2 super chat says, mining is hard if there is no gold at the bottom. That's true. And Tony Whitcomb for his £10 super chat, he says, hey, Einstein, you can pull a chair from
Satellite red
underneath me,
herring.
but
That's
I
fine.
won't fall due to gravity. As I tighten my muscles, so I'm still in sitting position. No gravity involved. Appreciate all the super chats. You guys rock. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Roger.
Secret
Really
Asian man.
appreciate it.
Satellite red herring. Even though I've done very few diversions, categorically less diversions. There is no gravitational pull. Flying pigs are a thing. Okay. Really shows the state of our education system. Yeah, I agree. This guy really doesn't understand anything. It does show the state of our education system. Can't be true because consensus says. It seems like these people don't know what consensus means.
Oh, yes, we know what consensus is, and that's
What does it
all you
mean?
guys have at the end of the day is consensus. Can you quickly read on the screen here what this says?
The fact
The
that
New
you're
York
acting that
Times.
consensus is a weak argument proves that you don't know what it is.
It is. It's appeal to consensus. It's actually a fallacious argument.
Appeal to consensus.
Yes, that's
Do you
the
know how
fallacy
scientific
you fall.
consensus is reached? Through the
Do you even know what
scientific
science
method.
is, dude?
You seem to have a firm belief in the scientific method. And
Yes, I
we
do.
reach consensus
Scientific
through the
method, not.
scientific method.
There is no such thing as an opinion when it comes to scientific method. You
Correct.
guys have
Which is
made
why
it into
consensus is correct. Because it's
consensus is
reached through the
subjective.
scientific method.
Consensus is subjective, not objective. Therefore, it's not science. It's
Subjective?
pseudoscience.
Scientific
Yes.
consensus is subjective.
Yes.
But we get to it through
Based
the
on
scientific
opinion.
method.
It's based
get-
on opinion.
No,
Well
it's
done.
not. We get to it through
Okay.
the
Yes,
scientific
it
method.
is.
No, it's not. We get to it through the scientific
Remember I
method.
spoke about Flatzoid? That went through science, quote unquote.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did. That's why it
No,
was
it
based
didn't.
on
It's just a dumb
scientific
belief people held,
consensus.
probably.
Oh my word! It was scientific consensus. Anyway, read what it says here.
Yeah,
Remember,
but
I
we didn't
spoke
know that
about
much
Eric
back then.
Verlinde, and you said I'm just misrepresenting him. For me, gravity doesn't exist, said Dr. Verlinde.
That's just the way of saying that he has a different way of thinking about it. He's not saying that the force doesn't exist. He acknowledges that things fall down.
Everybody says things fall down.
So
Even
what
I
is
do.
your explanation?
Relative density disequilibrium.
Right, which is caused by gravity. Things don't denser things.
Oh, sorry.
fall
Okay,
down
show
because
me
of gravity.
gravity and relative density disequilibrium. Go ahead.
Okay, so denser objects that are lighter than the medium that they are in, they fall down. They're pulled towards the Earth because of
There's
gravity.
no pulling in relative density disequilibrium.
Okay.
Really wrong.
Okay, but it moves down, right?
Sorry, I asked you relative density disequilibrium. You telling me to know more about relative density disequilibrium, and you're
I
moving
know
to
enough.
specific gravity.
Well, you're like confused about what's causing it. You don't realize
I
that
am not
gravity
confused about
is
anything.
taking
I
apart
know.
in here.
You see, this is the issue I have with you guys. The cognitive dissonance that you guys have
Cognitive
is
dissonance.
insanely bad.
Even though you
project
ignored the
ignorance.
satellite example
You
I
always
provided.
project your ignorance onto me because you guys don't understand something. That doesn't make me ignorant. It makes you ignorant.
But you
So
know what does
again, I'm
make you
going to
ignorant?
ask
Ignoring the satellite example I provide and diverting every
the
single time I provide.
satellite you are claiming is based on Einsteinian gravity, which is not a force. You are fighting for a force. Do you
But
understand the difference?
But we use the equations that relativity has, right? And
Which is not
it
a
traverses
force.
Okay, but we use the equations that relativity offers, right? Einstein's
Okay, so
equation.
are you throwing
And it
Newton away?
traverses the path that we use the
Great.
equations
Are
to
we throwing
calculate.
Newton away then?
No,
Then how can you claim
we still
gravity
use his
is not a
equations,
force?
and like obviously it breaks down at certain points, but we still use his equations.
Great. So does that make it real? Do equations make something real?
If it's repeatable, yeah.
Sorry, what if I just change G to pixie dust? Does that mean it's pixie dust causing it?
No, the
But the
difference is
equation
that
says,
we use
but the
math
equation
and we
says
repeat it.
the equation says it's pixie dust and it's repeatable.
No, what? The equation
Yeah,
says.
pixie dust causes this cup to fall to the ground. I have my
What are you trying to
equation.
say?
I have my equation. Pixie dust says this cup falls to the ground. Therefore, it's repeatable. Therefore, pixie dust is the cause for the cup falling to the floor.
The difference is that the equation, whether or not the equation is repeatable.
Yeah, the equation is repeatable. Pixie dust causes this to fall. It's repeatable.
You know what
I can use
repeatable
it.
means? Repeatable doesn't mean doing the same thing over and over and saying that it happens over and over. You have to change different things. You have to change elevation. You have to change the mass of the
I'll
object.
change elevation. Still does the same thing.
That's not.
I'll
not
change the
gonna be good enough.
object.
That's
Okay,
not
let's
gonna
change
be.
the weight.
That's not going to work
That's the same thing.
because the density and difference,
Pixie dust caused it. Pixie
the
dust
mass and the
caused it.
difference
Thank
is
you.
negligible. The difference in the mass and the
Sorry.
elevation
Then I
is
just
negligible.
changed the variables and it gave the same effect.
Yes,
because the
but it's
cause was
negligible. The
pixie
difference is
dust.
negligible, so it's not going to matter.
The point I'm making is just because they place G into an equation does not mean that G actually exists.
It does, though, when you
No,
can repeat
because
it.
G is only attributed to an observation made. The observation made is this acceleration. They call that G. That doesn't mean gravity is real. The problem comes when you're just affirming that correlation now as gravity and claiming, look, now we have a sphere because of gravity. Now we have this because of gravity. You haven't shown gravity to be true. Just because a G is in an equation doesn't mean it's real.
Okay, but we know
Superman can be in
relativity
the
is
equation.
correct.
It doesn't make it real.
But we know relativity is correct.
Relativity works on certain functions because it's explaining, just
Certain
like
functions.
relative density disequilibrium, the air around it is displaced. It's moving around so the
Because of
object is
gravity.
able to accelerate.
Because of gravity.
My relative density disequilibrium comes more scientific than your Newtonian gravity.
But you can use the Newtonian. You can use Newton's equations to figure out the rate that it falls, and it falls at that rate.
I don't know how to make this clear to you. The
I don't know how you're
equation
going to do it either.
doesn't mean it's a force. It's an attribution given to an observation.
Right. Right.
So when we understand things fall, and because they call it gravity, doesn't mean gravity's real.
I'm not saying that because he created an equation, it must be right. I'm saying that we know relativity is correct because of, for example, the satellite thing. We've done so many things to verify
Where's the
that
satellite?
relativity
Okay,
is correct.
where is the satellite established? Where
Okay,
are the
finally, you want to talk about it. You can just look it up. Just look it up. Let's look it up here. I'm gonna search.
Where? No. I'm asking, where are the satellites?
Where are the satellites? Orbiting the Earth, the spherical Earth.
Orbiting.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
sphere. Really?
Correct.
What sphere are they orbiting, and where are they orbiting?
I don't know the exact positions, but they're like miles and miles and miles up, and they're orbiting at like tens of thousands of miles per hour.
So are they on Earth, or are they in space, as you call them?
They're still subject to Earth's gravity, so I'd say on Earth, yeah.
So satellites are in Earth system.
I'd say so, yeah. They're orbiting the Earth. They're just
how do you
moving
orbit
away
a-
from it as far as they're falling to it, so they stay in orbit.
Nice. So they're not in space then?
Okay, I know what you're trying to. I think I see where you're trying to go.
No, I
don't-
agree. They're not in space. I agree. Now let's move to the orbiting. Do you know the orbiting falls off of a horizontal plane?
Orbiting falls off a what?
Orbiting satellites. Their
Right.
distances are based upon a horizontal plane.
What are you
That
saying?
z-axis is a
Right.
distance to the surface.
Their z-axis is a distance to the surface.
Which is based
Yeah.
off a horizontal.
When you say z, do you mean up and down or forward and back?
Up and down.
Up and down.
The distance away. Okay, let's take
That's
a
their altitude.
geostationary satellite. Is it a fixed distance from the Earth's surface?
A geostationary satellite. Do you mean like a satellite made by humans or a natural satellite?
Geostationary satellite just means it's not moving. It stays exactly the geographical position always.
I'm not really sure there's such a thing as a geostationary satellite.
Okay,
Because
I'll
otherwise it
rest my
falls
case.
straight
He wants
down.
to talk about satellites, which he doesn't even know what satellites are. He wants to talk about gravity. He doesn't know anything about gravity. He wants to talk about physics, which he clearly has no idea what's going on.
Okay, but you don't know what relativity is saying, though.
Stop telling me what I know and don't know when I'm not having to educate you.
You're not educating. You're just spreading misinformation to
I'm
people on the
showing
internet.
what misinformation. The guy that doesn't know what's going on is telling me I don't know what's going on, then telling me I'm just
I
lying.
don't know what's going on. Yeah, you are lying.
Tell me what exactly I got wrong. Go ahead.
Well, you said that Einstein said that gravity is not real. What you're trying
No,
to do is you're taking
again,
the
I never
quotes and
once
you're
said
trying to make
that.
it seem as though
I
they're
said
trying to
Einstein
discredit
said gravity is not a force. Say that one more time. Say one more time.
At some point,
because you
I
are
remember
lying.
you saying that some
Stop lying.
scientist said that gravity is not real. You said something like that. You said something
Again,
along the lines of that. at some point.
Gravity doesn't exist. Okay?
That's
That
what you
was
just.
Eric Verlinde. That was his actual statement.
He's not saying that there isn't something causing some people to
I
fall
never
to the
said
earth.
he never said that. Again,
So what are you saying then? Are you saying we have
I'm
a
telling
wrong
you,
idea about gravity?
gravity is not a force, and gravity doesn't exist. And based on general relativity, gravity is not a force, and it is literally only showing you have no idea what's going on.
But there is still something causing objects to apparently
I
fall to the
agree,
ground.
and that's why we go through the scientific method, where your gravity hasn't gone through the scientific method
And
to make
relativity
that claim.
describes gravity, and it has gone through the scientific method. It is a rigorous theory.
Give me, go look up a scientific hypothesis and experiment for gravity for me. Go ahead.
Scientific hypothesis. I don't need to. I got
Yes.
satellites to point to.
Show me one, because I've been in this for like 10 years now, and no one has been able to offer me a valid scientific
Because
hypothesis.
I don't
and
know what
experiment for gravity.
hypothesis Einstein went through. I'm not him. I'm not as smart as him.
Einstein didn't go through a scientific hypothesis. That's why it's not scientific. It was a
No, he
thought
did. That's why it's a theory.
experiment. He did. It's not a scientific theory because he hasn't gone
Yes, it
through the
is. It's called
scientific
the theory
method
of
to make it
relativity.
a theory.
Why is it called the theory of relativity then? Why does every
Because
smart
it's
person say it's a theory of relativity?
pseudoscience. It masquerades as
So you're right, and
science.
all
There's-
these smart people are wrong.
Oh my damn.
These people who study physics for a living are wrong, and you're wrong. And you're
I
right.
never said they're wrong. I said
That's
they're
kinda what you're saying.
indoctrinated. Listen,
Which means that they're
because
wrong.
because you study, no, because you have a belief that gravity exists doesn't make it real. The physics works
Okay.
on the proponents of believing gravity is real, but it doesn't make gravity real.
Everything that relativity says happens. So how do you
Oh, really?
explain that?
Everything that
Black
says
holes.
happens. Have you seen a white hole before?
What tall?
A white hole.
What is that?
It's an opposite of a black hole.
Oh, a white hole. No, we haven't found it yet, but we discovered black holes
The
after
general
Einstein
relativity,
theorized that they exist.
everything general relativity says happens, correct?
So far, yeah.
Okay, how about a black hole?
Yeah, we found them.
Really?
We have photos of them. We have two
A
photos of them.
Photoshop. Wait. A Photoshop image
Photoshop,
is
of course.
a photo.
Yeah, so those researchers are lying, right?
Yeah.
Why are they lying?
That I am definitely saying they're lying because it's not a real photo.
So it's the thousands and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people across the globe today that are saying that relativity is correct. They're all lying.
Is there a picture of a black hole?
Yes, we have two.
Where?
Just search it up. I think we got one of Sagittarius A, the one at the center of the Milky Way, and we got one of another one. Or I think maybe it's the same one. We got two different
Oh,
photos.
you mean a photoshopped image? Okay.
Why is it photoshopped? Answer my question. Do you think all the hundreds of thousands of scientists, all of them
Because
saying
do
relativity
you
is
know
correct,
what
are lying?
data they accumulated for those
Are they lying?
images? Do you know what data they used to accumulate for those images?
Data they use, probably X-ray light. I don't know how the photos are.
It was
assembled
literally
exactly.
binary. It was binary numbers, ones and zeros.
Okay, what does that have to?
And
what
they
does that
placed
have
that
to do with
together
the
to
validity of the
draw.
photographs?
Yeah, they placed it together to draw
Yeah, but it's still
the
real
image.
data. It's still real
Sorry.
data. It doesn't mean
No,
it's
no, no, no.
Photoshop. Doesn't mean it's fake. Doesn't mean they're lying.
Can you see a black hole?
No, because it literally light cannot escape from it.
Then
But
how
you
the
can
hell
see,
do you take a photo of something you can't see?
because the light that has not entered the black hole yet is still reaching our eyes. Have you
No,
ever
it's
seen a photo
not.
of a black hole eating a star?
There is no such thing as a black hole. That's the whole point.
There is.
Now I'm going to ask you another
Yes,
thing.
there is. Yes, there
You
is.
know why
You just have
there's
to
a
deny it because
You
it
know,
disproves
you know
you.
why? Do you know why dark matter?
Your argument is, oh,
do
it's
you know
not
why
real.
dark matter? Do you know why dark matter exists?
You know, saying something is real is not real doesn't
Do
make
you
it
know why
not real.
dark matter exists?
Because there's a lot of unaccounted for gravity in the universe.
No, because general relativity has been shown false. That's why.
No.
Yes.
There's just a lot of unaccounted for
Do you know
gravity.
why
It
they're
doesn't mean
pushing
it's not. It
Do you
doesn't
know
mean
why
it's
they're
not
pushing?
correct.
Do you know why they've moved on to quantum gravity now?
Quantum. They haven't moved on.
Yes, they are.
No, they
They're
haven't.
moving on to
They're
quantum
not.
gravity.
They're not moving on from relativity.
I'm sorry, but all I'm getting this whole night is you don't understand things. You don't know.
No, you
And then
don't understand. You're saying
I'm the
things
one
that
that-
scientists
oh, my
aren't saying.
word.
You're saying scientists are saying things that they're not saying.
every time I
Scientists are
think
not
we
moving
get,
on from relativity.
every
You're
time
just
I
lying.
think we get
You're
someone
lying.
done, every time we get someone I think is dumb, I find someone that actually supersedes that argument. That shows no. Dude,
So,
you have no idea
you're
what is
You're just lying. You've been lying the whole time. You're lying about what
about
scientists
what?
are saying.
What have I
That's
lied
your whole-
about?
That scientists are moving on from relativity. They're not.
Sorry?
Scientists are not moving on from relativity. That's
Yes,
what
they
you
are.
lied about. No, they're not.
What have I lied on?
whether scientists are moving on from relativity or not. They are not moving on from it.
Scientists have determined a way of measuring gravity on microscopic levels, perhaps bringing them closer in forming a theory of quantum gravity and solving some major cosmic mysteries. Quantum physics offers scientists the best description of the universe on tiny scales smaller than the atoms. Scientists are interested in quantum gravity because it helps solve some biggest mysteries of the universe. Ooh.
So does
Weird.
that's not them saying relativity is wrong.
A new theory of quantum gravity, which attempts to unite quantum physics with Einstein's relativity, could help solve the puzzle of the universe exploration.
Yes, but that's not saying relativity is wrong. It's saying unite with relativity. That means relativity is
It's
correct.
trying
It
to
just
fix
doesn't explain
relativity.
everything.
Remember, I just asked you what is dark matter.
No,
Why
it's
is
just
dark
saying
matter?
that. No, it's saying relativity is not explaining everything. It's not saying relativity is wrong. They would say that otherwise. They would say
No,
it's a
it's-
discredited theory if it was wrong. It's not.
So why is there dark matter again?
Because there's unaccounted for gravity. That doesn't mean relativity is wrong. It just means it doesn't explain absolutely everything. Just because a theory doesn't explain absolutely everything doesn't mean it's wrong.
No, the reason
No,
they
yes,
have dark
yes.
matter. No, the reason they have dark
Yes.
matter is because general relativity has been shown to be false.
Wrong.
Yes. What is
Nope.
dark matter?
On account, it is. It's not actually a thing. It's just it's matter that we supposedly cannot see that is causing gravity that is unaccounted for.
So it's
That's
an
why it's called dark matter.
unobservable, very dense mass.
We don't know if it's mass. It's just something that's causing gravity. We don't know what's causing it.
So then mass doesn't cause gravity anymore.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying
that's
that there's something causing gravity.
Let me ask you something.
that
In
we don't know what's
science,
causing gravity.
if you
So
find
you're lying.
something that contradicts what your theory says, does it then show it to be false?
It's not contradicting what the theory is saying.
Oh, yes, it is. What does general
What is it?
relativity say about the cause of gravitational waves?
Mass and distance, I imagine.
And what is the cause of dark matter?
We don't know. That's why it's called dark matter. Just because it doesn't have
Because,
an
wait,
explanation for it doesn't mean that it's not
what
real.
is happening with dark matter? There is no mass, but yet there's gravitational pull.
We don't know. That's why we call it dark matter.
This is why it's called invalidation of a pseudoscientific pursuit.
No, it does not invalidate relativity. It just doesn't
It
explain
does invalidate it. That's why you guys always do
No.
God of the gaps argument.
No, God of the
Yes.
gaps. What?
Your
I'm
whole
not
globe,
attributing
your
it
whole-
to anything. I'm
your
not attributing
whole
it to
globe-
anything.
Your whole globe is based on God of the gaps arguments. If you
No,
find
it's
something
not.
wrong,
It's
instead
based
of
on
just saying
observations and
let's
calculations that we've done.
no,
Yes, it
instead
is. Yes, it is. You just
ins-
say no, but you don't prove why
instead-
not.
instead of going back
just
to the
lying.
drawing, instead of going back to the drawing board,
You're the one that keeps going, deny.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. I know, right?
No,
That's
that's
what
you.
your buddy's
you,
doing. That's what your
dude.
buddy's doing.
Gibbon,
That's what your
that's
buddy's
you.
doing. Your buddy's
You.
just lying. Your buddy's misrepresenting scientists. Your buddy's
You.
misrepresenting scientists. Nope.
And then
That's what
you'll
your
just go,
buddy's
yes, no, you're wrong, yes, no, but you're not providing nothing.
Yeah, no, that's what he's doing.
Okay.
I agree.
You, I'm
I couldn't
talking
agree with you more. That's what your buddy's doing.
You,
That's what your buddy's doing. No, that's what your
Are
buddy's
you
doing.
just here to troll, Gibbon? Are you here to troll or something?
Am I here to troll? I don't know. Are you? You're telling a lot of lies here
Of
tonight.
course he is. He's been
What
here
lie?
before.
You haven't showed me one lie, dude.
That
You
scientists
just
are moving on from relativity. That relativity
I
is
just
discredited. It's
told
not.
you that you're moving on to
Just
quantum
because we
gravity
don't know
because-
everything does not mean that relativity is not true, and that scientists will move on
Okay.
from it.
We know
I'm gonna
it
make
is.
this very
Yeah,
simple for
plenty
you.
of times before, trolling.
Yeah,
gonna make it very
I've got
simple for you,
nothing but simpletons here tonight. Yeah, nothing but
I'm gonna make this
simple
very
here tonight.
simple for you, Gibbon. I'm gonna make this very simple for you, okay? Newtonian gravity was superseded by Einsteinian gravity because it found a hole with it. It found a problem. So Einstein
Yeah.
needed to get it to work, hence general relativity, which also didn't go through science. Now,
Yes, it did.
general relativity also has issues, hence dark matter. That's why quantum
Doesn't have
gravity
issues.
is
It just
stepping
doesn't
in
cover it.
to try and figure out those issues. That is called the God of the gaps argument. With science,
We're not attributing dark matter to anything.
with science, if something is found to go against the theory, it disproves the theory, and you have to go back to the
It doesn't
drawing
go
board.
against relativity, though. It's just something that relativity doesn't cover. What are you not getting
Does
about that? It's
dark
so easy to
matter-
understand.
Sorry. What does general relativity say about the cause for gravity?
The mass.
And what is the cause for gravity when dark matter's around?
We don't know. It doesn't cover that. That doesn't mean it's wrong.
So let me put it this way. So gravity is caused by mass. Oh, look, I see gravity without mass. Uh-oh.
That doesn't mean relativity's wrong.
Yes, it
No, it
does.
doesn't. It just doesn't cover it.
Oh, my word.
Okay, are Newton's equations wrong because he didn't create any equations
It's
for dark
willful
matter?
ignorance, man.
This is dishonesty on it. This is
Dishonesty, really.
This is
Says the guy
exactly the
lying
same.
about what scientists said
This
about
is the
relativity.
same thing. Dude, just because you want to deny everything presented to you and
That's
just
what you're
project
doing.
your ignorance onto me.
Scientists
Yeah,
are moving on from
everybody's-
relativity. That's you in denial.
113,
You're in
113
denial. You're
people.
saying scientists are moving on from relativity.
What a
113,
childish attitude. Oh no, I don't do this, but you do this. What, you're such a
113 people watching you right now, all
Right.
thinking, what is this guy? What's wrong with this guy?
Because you have a flat Earth audience. Because your audience is stupid.
So
Your
what
audience is
if we
uneducated.
flat
That
earth
means
it?
the hubris and the idiocracy.
Because your audience
in
is
you.
uneducated. Your audience are high school dropouts.
Oh
Did you
my
hear-
goodness.
Dude,
You
I
rely
finished-
on the
wait,
YouTube
wait,
channels for
wait,
13
Gibbon,
subscribers for news.
Wait,
And that
Gibbon,
makes you
I
that
finished
hard.
school with 3 distinctions, man. Tell
Right.
me again I'm a high school dropout. Go ahead.
You finished school with what?
3 distinctions.
It
Telling
doesn't
me I'm
mean
a
that you
dropout.
can't lie. It doesn't mean that you're not a liar.
Where am I lying? You keep saying I'm lying.
Lied about what scientists are saying about relativity.
I didn't
They're
lie.
not moving on from relativity.
Everything I've said, I brought it up and I showed you.
The scientists are not moving on from relativity. They're just saying it doesn't explain dark matter. They're still
That's
using
why
relativity.
they have to move to quantum gravity to try and explain the issues. It's called God of the
They're
Gaps
saying
argument.
they're unifying quantum gravity and relativity, not discrediting relativity.
Because
and having it
relativity
replaced.
can't explain it because it goes
Doesn't mean it's
against what
wrong.
it claims.
It
It
doesn't
does
go
mean it's
against what
wrong.
it claims.
Science if you're doing science, this is why you don't understand. This is the difference between science and pseudoscience. Okay? Science is objective. It doesn't give a shit what you care or think about.
Exactly. That's why you're wrong.
Pseudoscience is
That's why it demolishes
subjective.
your beliefs.
It has opinions, and that's exactly
Right.
what
That's why you
gravity
believe
is
that the
based
Earth is a
upon. The
sphere or a
opinions
flat disk.
and beliefs of someone, and while he talks over me while I'm making a statement.
You've done the same thing to me plenty of times.
No, you've been talking over me
No.
the whole
No,
time.
all night you've
You've
been
been
doing
talking over me a lot.
No,
Okay,
no,
I'm letting an
no.
engineer in.
What was
Yeah,
your perception?
there's another high school dropout engineer. Welcome,
Yeah.
Jeff.
Engineer.
I
That
have
doesn't
my
mean he's an
electronics
astrophysicist.
engineering degree. So
What does that have to do with
how
astrophysics?
did you just said that we're all high school dropouts?
Okay,
I've
but
got my
that was just an
engineering degree.
insult.
So what does that make me?
It makes you not a
Huh?
physicist. It doesn't make you a physicist.
Oh my goodness!
You're not a physicist either,
Just
Gibbon. You
because
don't-
I don't have a
I'm-
PhD
I'm not,
at the end of my name,
But I'm not attacking physics. I'm defending it. I don't need to be a physicist.
You're not
I'm not
defending
attacking
physics.
it.
You're actually
You
defending
can't defend it. You don't
pseudoscience.
even know physics.
I'm not an expert on it, but none of us here are either. So
Dude.
what is your point?
You don't know physics from the bottom of your bum, dude.
Mhm.
Neither do you, because you're saying the Earth is flat. And
Okay.
physics says it's a sphere.
Let's talk about other
No,
physics.
it doesn't,
Conservation of
actually.
momentum. Go ahead. What do you know about conservation of momentum?
Me?
Yeah, you. Who else?
Okay. So if you're standing on the back of a truck that is moving and you jump up, you don't fall out the back. You move with the truck. You conserve your momentum.
Is it angular or linear momentum?
On small scales, linear. I don't see why it matters.
Great. Not on small scales. It's linear. So therefore, it's not angular because you're not on a rotating frame.
If
Okay,
you want to say
now
it's
let's-
angular on the low
Let's
scale,
place, let's do this now on that moving truck. Let's go 200 miles an hour and jump off in the truck. What's going to happen?
basically the same thing if we're going to ignore wind resistance.
No, you'll fall off. You know why? It's called
Probably
wind
'cause of wind.
resistance.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So,
Sure.
is your Earth open or closed system?
I don't know what that means. I guess closed.
No, your Earth's not closed because you claim to have
Oh wait, no,
astronauts
never
and
mind. Open,
space
probably.
satellites.
Yeah, open. Yeah. Closed means a dome, which doesn't exist. But yeah, open, sure.
Okay. Do you know anything about the Coriolis effect?
It is a result of rotating bodies. It has to do with the physics of rotating bodies. I'm not an expert on it.
Okay.
What do I
Can you
claim to be?
explain to us Coriolis, please, for your globe?
In the like I said, I'm not an expert on it, but in the
Great.
northern
Can
hemisphere,
can the can
we
the
have
dumb
hurricanes
flat
and
earther
storms
educate you
frequency.
again? Because remember, I'm the one that doesn't
Okay,
know
explain to
physics.
me.
Yeah. You
You
require
lie
two
for a
reference.
living about the
You
shape of
require
the Earth
two
and
reference.
physics and stuff. So
Sorry,
obviously,
what do
you
I
can
do
be
for a
more
living?
versed. You lie for a living.
For a living.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
Patreon.
And to get rid of
Oh, okay.
He's
All right.
just an arsehole.
Running away.
a lie for a living.
His ego is massive.
You
don't
bloody-
even know
hold
what
on, He's
a
gone.
plumber is.
He's gone. He sprays. What do you do for a
Wow.
living? This is not your living. You work for a living. That's what you do.
okay.
And this is not your
I'm-
living. What do you mean you lie for a living? How does that work out?
First, I'm gonna say this. The whole night, the guy hasn't known any physics that he's talking about.
None.
That's why I keep asking him different questions because I wanted to test him. He clearly has no idea what's going on. Then he projects his ignorance onto me, saying I don't know what's going on. After I explain to him what's going on, and I show him on screen what's going on.
It's the same dude you had on like months ago.
That's like
No,
just-
this Gibbon's the other guy.
No, yeah, but it's the same guy you had on the same day as Christian that day. Remember?
You think it's him?
Yeah, it's the same
Yeah.
guy. He's just, I
Ah.
can tell by the voice. It's the same guy. It's the same attitude. He's the same one that said to me about laughing. You know, like, oh, not laugh is because they. It's him. It's definitely the same guy.
No.
I can't remember his name, but it's the same dude. He was in the same day as that Christian. Yeah, they're very similar people, him and Christian.
But I think it's very telling. This is the same issue I had with Will Duffy, the same issue I have with. It doesn't matter who anti-flat earthers you debate. It's always the same. Nuh-uh, you don't understand. You're stupid because you're a flat earther.
Yeah,
That's all they got.
of course. I know that. And
Character
that's,
assassinations the whole time, no other thing.
yeah, listen, I'm a drop. I got kicked out. I'm not a dropout. I got kicked out. I decided not to do exams because my sister wouldn't come to school to do exams with me. So I was fine by that. It doesn't mean to say I'm thick.
Gibbon, you never
I
exposed
would
anybody
pass
as a
5
fraud.
hours, you know?
Gibbon, you have no respect. All you
Mm.
did was be a coward and overtalk me constantly and tell me I'm lying, and you can't point out when I'm lying. And you showed you have no, how can I put this, decency to have a conversation, a proper one. Because all you do is be dishonest. And no, I don't lie for a living. I actually have a job.
And you're the liar. You're coming in under a different name when you've been here when you've been here before. You're the liar, bro. You're the liar.
Mm-hmm.
You've
Anyway, thank
exposed
you, Tony.
nothing. You exposed that you were silly. That you're a silly dude.
Because
Simple.
all we got the whole night was denying things when it's
Mhm.
presented to him. That's it. Nothing
That's
else.
it. Not
Thank you,
or
Tony.
yes it is, or not no they didn't, or yes it did. You know,
Mhm.
it was either denying or affirming. Make up your mind, bro.
Yeah. Thank you, Tony Whitcomb, for your £5 super chat. Says, I have the idiot for the win. You can come last and still get a winner's medal.
What was that, babe?
Thank you very much for the super chat. You rock.
Yeah, Vicky finished school. She got all her qualifications and stuff. She's all right that way. I mean, it's.
I'm gonna just put it this way. Type 1 in chat, okay? If you're a high school dropout, and type 2 in chat if you actually finished school. It's going to be very little that says 1. Yeah, you got kicked.
I'll put down dropout since I was kicked out. Everybody's got a different story. Everybody's got
Exactly.
a different story, you know?
Look, my mate
Well-
took him out of school and homeschools him, and he does a million times better at homeschooling. So it's not all about going to school.
Exactly.
But I want to know, do you know how much smart, successful people have didn't
See,
even
we got a
finish
split.
school?
We got a split. Half and half. Pretty
Mm-hmm.
much.
But
See?
my next follow-up question, does that make you dumb?
Certainly not.
Gematria, one that went to college.
There you go. I'd say it's a split down the middle. See, different people, different strokes, different folks. Doesn't mean to say we're any better, any superior or inferior to one another.
Ah,
It's ridiculous to say that, isn't
come
it?
on. Like, when you said to him about a plumb line, and he went, I don't know, I'm not a plumber, like, and you're calling us dumb.
I've never seen a plumb line being used in plumbing. Maybe wallpaper and decorating,
Okay.
not plumbing.
What?
I mean, you might, but no.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Thomas Edison was a dropout. Albert Einstein was praised for curious student came up with creative solutions. He wasn't known for having but he did. Einstein dropped out of high school. He did. He found it unchallenging and teachers. He decided to drop out at the age of 15. So Einstein's dumb according to this guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs also.
I'm a high school dropout, but I can still kick your ass.
That's the one. That's the one. Definitely.
I can beat up your dad.
Charles Dickens. Mark
Oh,
Twain.
wow. Brilliant writers, authors. Yeah, wow. Isn't that mental? Isn't that mental? And he's appealing to authority, appealing to consent.
Even John Travolta.
It was amazing, wasn't it? You know, like, so all these scientists are wrong. These thousands and thousands are wrong, are they? It's
all the smart people drop out, dude.
Walt Disney as well.
Weird. 116 watching flats. That's a good turnout.
Richard Branson left school when he was 16.
Wow.
Bill Gates. Bill Gates left school.
Musk is a university dropout. That's what Suggs is dropout.
The point is, there's so much successful, smart people that dropped out of school. That's the point.
Of course.
School has its positives, but it also has its negatives because it does indoctrinate people. Hence, Gibbon.
It's really mad. It's so crazy how the globiolis is close to madness and insanity. It's really so delusional. It can be close. It's insanity. It really is.
I got my ECDL qualifications after being a homeless alcoholic.
Did you?
Yep.
Nice. I've done a few of them ADCL maths things and that. ECDL, yeah, I did a few of them to do with maths and literacy and stuff, but nothing major.
Well,
I mean, guys, I got some. I got maths, BTEC maths certificates in prison. There you go.
You know how much people actually started studying further in prison and stuff and got their life together and got back to prison with everything.
Exactly.
By the way, tomorrow night's going to be exciting, guys, because tomorrow night we have Sleeping Warrior on, and we're going to be talking about the Cavendish, and we're going to be going through the actual original Cavendish journal and talking about the Cavendish that he and Clive did that time and showed why it doesn't do what it claims. So if you want to know, tomorrow night's going to be very, very good.
Nice. Can't wait.
So yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow for me, second part of Billy Carson debate.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's done not too bad today. It's got about 180 views so far. So
hey, that's good.
And last night's one of yours and Luke's 5th Street 16 together. That's done well as well. That's on 220 odd. It's not bad at all.
That's very good. It's good to see your channel's growing, man.
Yeah, it's certainly growing, slowly but surely, but I'd rather it be like that. So it's, you know, I enjoy doing it. I mean, I was really nervous when I first started doing it, you know. And sometimes you do get times where I can't be bothered. But I enjoy doing it. Especially at them times when I can't be bothered, then I actually go on and do it. It's like, oh, I'm glad I did because this is pretty cool. You know what I mean? So you do get tired sometimes, don't you? You know? Yeah. I like it.
It's good. Well, yeah. What do you have to say further than that?
Oh, dude, it's just, I mean, what can you say to that? It's willful ignorance, not ours. Just, he sounded like he was going to be okay at the start. Like, oh, Fletch, you were a bit harsh on me, weren't you? You know, in Discord or whatever. I know. I mean,
I was
15 minutes in. Brian, Dose of Reality, called it in chat. He said he'd probably get his knob out or something like that. But in general, he was right. He turned out being a troll. He says, count down from now in 15 minutes. He's going to probably get his troll out, his dick out, or something like that. But 15 minutes, he turned out to be a troll.
So Soggs is making fun of my 35-kilometer thing.
Oh yeah, of course. But do you know why else I think you said that? Because
No.
Andrew Johnson asked you that before, remember, and you made the mistake of saying the same
The thing
thing.
is, I was put on
So
the
that would
spot.
have been stuck in your head as well. From
It's
last
okay,
time.
but I was put in the spot, and
Of
that's why
course.
even when I corrected myself, I said 350,000. Like, I mean 35,000.
I know. It happens, man.
But it happens. What can I do?
Sometimes
We're
we
all human.
instead of converting it and stuff like that. You know, sometimes a conversion. Sometimes you think, oh no, multiply that for some reason. You know, sometimes you just think wrongly.
Moon was talking about spud guns.
Spud gun. I remember spud
They call
guns.
them potato guns.
Tatty guns, I'd say. Tatty guns.
But I have to say, thank you everybody for coming. It was quite a lot of people in today. I mean, we're at the stage of like 125 people. So it's very good. Thank you very much. It's good to see so many people here.
Mm.
Make sure that you guys are here tomorrow. Like I said, it's going to be a very good one. Make sure you're on PJ stream tomorrow as well. It's going to be good.
Link in there. But yeah, what Cheswick just Mr. Cheswick just said there. I'm like that as well, Mr. Cheswick. I don't know that all the scientific facts and stuff like that. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm scientifically illiterate, but I'm like that. I don't know all that stuff, but I know water doesn't bend around a curve. Absolutely.
The thing is, I also don't claim to know everything, but I sure damn do know more than these anti-flat earthers I debate.
So much more. And they just call you a liar for it, dude. That's all they can do. You know?
Yeah,
so how come they keep coming to you then? How come they keep wanting to debate you apart from the cowards?
Because they get brave and they think they're going to be able to do something.
Exactly. But if you're such a liar, why are they debating you? If that's the case, you know?
It's crazy. But yeah, guys, I'm going to end the show here. I want to say thank you all for coming. I appreciate you. Appreciate the super chats and everything. Thank you all for coming. And thank you, PJ, again, for the cable. It seems to work perfect.
It sounds really good, man.
Much better.
That was from me and Vicky. Bless you, man. It's all
Well
good.
done, actually, before we go. Well done, Keith. That's 3 debates in a row in 4 days, and you've won all of them.
That wasn't much.
Like you say, it's not about the winning, is it? But you can't say that you lost that any of them, you know.
Yeah, it's quite crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But
Absolutely.
it shows you the level of rebuttal we have from the Globe side.
That's it. That's it.
And by the way, guys, you don't just need to debate me. You can debate anybody on the panel. They'll be more than happy to do so. So you can call out anyone. Just want to say thank you, Mindset and Milksphere. $2 Super J says quantum levitation. The sun is a superconductor. People have said that. People have given theories on that and claimed like the dome can be you can have quantum locked things. So like the sun and the moon are quantumly locked to the dome.
Uh-huh.
People have said that. Even that's why they have like the ISS that's just quantum locked to it, which they don't want to tell us. I've seen people say that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a possibility, but how do we know?
Because there's definitely a difference between the movement of the stars, and movement of the sun and moon. Definitely. They're different circuits. They're different circuits. I mean, they're going the same way, but they're different circuits.
Yeah. There's only one thing I'd still like to debate with Duffy. Or maybe two.
And moment. He says he's got to call out PJ to see he can smoke more grass. I've been practicing. Dude, I think that might be a draw. I don't think we'll give up on that. I don't think we'd give up. It would be who run out of money first.
Uh-oh.
Rumours should come to the UK and YouTube can have a smoke.
Yeah, we'll have a smoke-a-thon, man. We'll have a smoke-a-thon. That'd be cool.
Okay. Cheers, guys. Many, many blessings. May the pressure with you. Cheerio.
Ta-da.
Okay. There we go.
Crafted signs of the divine. I'm made for something true. In God's plan, my path renews. Flat earth made by Him. My journey long yet thin. Purpose found in every day.